Hey there guys, my buddy Mike, who's a local musician, asked me if I could take a look at his smoke machine. And this is not a cheapo Party City Halloween only smoke machine. This is a pretty heavy commercial unit. This thing probably weighs, I don't know, 20 pounds or so. It's got a separate remote control for it, so you know it's a pretty serious piece. Anyway, I don't know a single thing about smoke machines, which is why I thought it'd be a great thing to try on this channel. So stick around, let's take a look at it and see if we can get it fixed. Let's first take a look at what it's doing, or I guess really not doing in this case. I'll turn on the power switch right here, and this is so high-tech it's got a digital display. It gives you a D004, maybe it's a 6004, I don't really remember. And it's right now it's trying to pump liquid in from this container, and the fan is turned on. I can feel it blowing out of here. So let's give it a second or two. And it goes into this blinking. I looked it up. I think it means low fluid or something like that, and clearly it's not a low fluid error because there's fluid in there. So we're going to take this thing apart. Like I say in all of my videos, the first thing you want to do is make sure you don't have any power going to it, so it's already, we'll turn it off and unplug it. And I don't want you to get hurt. So we're going to take this container out with the special goo in it. Top unscrews, the little filter here. Now I took this thing apart earlier so I could order parts to make this video go faster, so I didn't have to stop and restart. And I already know that we don't need to take the back off all the way to get to the part that's the problem. It is a pump issue, by the way, and we don't need to take this side off, because this is where all the electronics are in this area, and there's no reason to take it off because we're not interested in the electronics. So we do have to take this side off though, which is where all the mechanical parts are. There's a pump and a valve and a heating chamber. In order to do that, we have to start by taking this bracket off. And then we also have to remove this hook from the top, and it's got a little washer on it too. And then this case is divided into, well, multiple parts, but for the sake of what we're talking about here, we've got the top and the left are connected, and the right side's a separate panel. So we need to remove the screws that hold the top and left from the right. And there were some more on this side too, but I've already taken them out. And now this whole thing should lift right off. And we can see all the mechanisms in here. Let's do a quick tour of the inside of this thing. There's a little valve here that opens and closes to let the fluid into the machine. This is a pump, and it pumps the liquid from the tank through the valve and through this little splitter here. This top tube actually injects the liquid into, this is a heating device, a little oven here, and it looks like what happens is this thing actually cooks or boils, I guess you could say, the liquid that goes in and creates smoke. This is a little thermal safety device, and then on this side there's another pipe that I believe lets air into the system, and I'm not sure what it's for, but that seems to be what it does. It's got a little one-way valve on it so that air can go this way but liquid can't go the other way, and it pumps out to a little port on the side here that's hidden inside. The problem on this machine, it turns out, is this pump, and the way I could tell was a couple of different ways. One is, I know this pump, this type of pump pretty well. It basically has a little piston that vibrates all the time at 60 hertz, which is what your wall voltage is. And if I touch it, it didn't feel like it was doing anything. Just to give everybody a sense of what I tried, I have hooked up a 120 volt plug using these connectors to the new pump. Now I'm being very, very, very careful not to touch any of these wires. This is just laying here, and I'm just going to plug this in for a quick second so you can kind of see what this thing does when it works. Hopefully you can see that's vibrating and bouncing. Now I'm going to take it off. I'm going to unplug it. I'm going to hook the same wires up to the old pump, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. And it's completely dead. And to make sure I was right, I went ahead and removed the connector off the bottom of the pump. They definitely don't make it easy, I know that. But I filled a little syringe with some of the special liquid and turned the machine on, and this was high voltage going through here, so you got to be careful. And I injected the liquid into here, which forced it through this pipe into the heating chamber, and noticed that it still wasn't working. And after a little bit of investigation, I found out that this thermal protection device was open. It should be a short circuit or a closed circuit, let's say, because it's basically a switch. So that if the heat in here gets too high, the temperature gets too high, it'll pop out. It's a safety device. Anyway, this is open, and there is a little button on it that's supposed to reset it so that you're not blowing these out every time if it overheats. Unfortunately, this one, the button didn't work. So, in addition to having a bad pump, I also had a bad thermal overprotect, and I ordered one of those as well. So we're going to put one of those in, or put both of those in, I guess. Now we're going to put the new pump in, and we have to put it in the rubber bracket first. And one of the interesting things that I didn't show you earlier is this actually has a thermal fuse as well, although this is not a resettable thermal fuse, and it goes into this little pocket right here. I'm going to put it into the new pump. And we'll connect the wires up. And we'll put the tubes on. This bottom tube we need to make sure is on pretty firmly because the liquid coming out is under not high pressure, but enough that if there's a leak on this, it'll be annoying. I went ahead and tightened this up off camera just because in order to do it I had to be in front of the camera, and well, I didn't want to be in the way. So now we got the connectors connected up, we got the thermal fuse in place. This tube is a little bit looser than I would like to see, so I'm probably going to put a tie wrap around it to hold it in place before I close this thing up. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this thermal fuse. And this is, you can kind of see that's kind of boogered up, but that's not the problem, I don't think, although they're actually, something is eaten through the metal on this, just to give you a sense of what it should look like when it's new, for comparison's sake. So same sort of thing, we're just going to disconnect it. These are push-on butt connectors, they're called, and they are going to fight me, of course. So let me turn off the camera and get a pair of pliers. There we go. And just so you can see what the difference in these are, as far as the meter is concerned, I have this on ohms, Sherlock ohms, not really. So the old one, whoops, registers nothing. That means it's getting completely an open circuit, whereas the new one, I'm getting 0 ohms, which is what we want to see. That means power can run through this thing. So we'll go ahead and put it back on. So now I'm just going to put the container back on the pipe. Sorry, I know this is facing in the wrong direction. Screw everything back together. We don't have to put it back in because we got to put everything back together. We'll plug it back in. Turn it on. Turn the power on. I'll spin this around a few times for the follow-up shots, but hopefully you'll be able to see what it's doing. Give it a few seconds to warm up. Oh, I forgot. I also have to, I think this is warming up the oven right now. And once it gets to a point where it is warm, if I hit manual, it won't turn on until it thinks it's warm enough, I think. Manual. There we have it, folks. Smoke. You can adjust all the settings on this. Anyway, I hope Mike enjoys it, and I hope you enjoyed it, and you guys have a good day. Now we're just going to put everything back together in the reverse order. Once again, make sure to unplug it first. I don't want to short anything out while I'm putting everything back together. This goes like this. Well, here I was thinking I was clever. It was working, and the pump is working. You can hear it buzzing. But for some reason, it's pumping smoke out intermittently. Best guess is that it's a clog somewhere, but we're going to have to take it back out, take it back apart and find out. So stay tuned. Okay, two things I want to show you. First of all, this is not a valve. This is actually a sensor to let you know when the liquid runs out. It's got a little optical sensor running through it. So that's the first thing, and it just goes to show you that you don't know what you don't know. And the second thing is, the reason it wasn't working all the time is because when I put the top back on, I had pinched this hose. This hose is supposed to go kind of around like this, and the way I had it going, it was actually being pinched by the case on this surface here. So now we're going to put it all back together. I will put this back where it goes, and we'll go from there. All right, now it's working beautifully. Duh. I got to give it back to Mike at some point. I am most assuredly going to play around with this thing for a little while, though. It's just too much fun. I've got it turned down to a fairly low smoke. You can adjust it not only on the remote here, but you can actually adjust some of the settings. I find the RTFM, as they say. You can also adjust some of the settings here to make it more or less smoke. So anyway, hopefully you found that to be as fun as I did, and boy, what a hoot. You know, I'll see you back next time. Thanks for watching.